I'm here today to help you with how to manage your time effectively, and this might surprise you. Let's start with the surprise. Time management is a myth. I know that's a bold statement, but think about it. Can you manage time? Like you have some control over the grand cosmic scheme of things that you can actually manage it. Some people think about saving time. Where would you keep it if you could possibly save it? You can't. All you can do with time really is spend it somehow or another, and you have to spend all of it. You can't save it up for tomorrow. You can't really manage it or allocate it or move it here and there. So it might be more accurate to look at priority management or task management, because these are the ways that we spend our time. And I think the most important consideration first is to get clear about the difference between something being urgent and something being important. And most things are both urgent and important at some level. So think of it as a continuum. In fact, let's create a quadrant system. If we were to put urgency on one dimension and importance on the other, it might look something like this. So you'll notice on this column, this is everything that's of high importance. And this would be low importance over here. And on the urgency dimension, that top row is high urgency, and the bottom row is low urgency. Most of the tasks that we take on, or the activities that we do during our day, can be placed somewhere in this quadrant system. Is it important? How important? Is it urgent? How urgent? So let's look at some examples for each of these quadrants. What about high urgency, high importance? That's this upper left-hand quadrant. It's both urgent and important. High urgency, high importance. This would be something like bleeding, for example. Now I picked that one because it's really obvious that that's an urgent thing, right? If you're bleeding, you got to deal with that right away. Well, is it important? Yes. It's connected to your health and your well-being. So bleeding is something that is both high urgency and high importance. It's in this quadrant. Before we move on to the other examples, let's just touch briefly on what we do about the things in each of these quadrants. If it's both urgent and important, handle it. And handle it now. You can't put it off because it's urgent. And you don't want to ignore it at all because it's important. So you got to handle it, and you got to handle it now. All right, let's look at the other quadrants. How about this one over here? This is high urgency, low importance. Urgent, but not necessarily important. What kinds of things fall into that category? For me, the phone ringing. Now, I'm not saying it's not important, because it might be you trying to call me, right? That would be enormously important. But it's urgent, obviously urgent, and I don't know yet if it's important or not. And so it's in that category for me. Low importance, high urgency. The urgency is there because it's ringing right now. It's demanding your attention. So I handle things in that quadrant by delegation. Here's what I mean. On my phone, I have a fun little button that I can push. The button says forward to assistant. So I push that button and my phone doesn't ring. It forwards to Cindy. And so Cindy, who I have paid to manage that quadrant of my life, the stuff that may or may not be important, that's why I put it in the low importance, but it is urgent, she handles it. And she'll answer the phone and she'll talk with you. And she'll say, tell me about why you're calling Dr. Paul. And then she gets to figure out how important it is, because that's going to determine what we do with that call. Now, it might just be a telemarketer, right? Someone who's calling to sell me a year's subscription to some magazine I don't want, or who has a new essential oil that they want me to try, or whatever it is, right? Well, maybe I'm not interested in what they're selling, so it has very low importance. It's still urgent because my phone's ringing. So in that quadrant, let's delegate it. Let's go to the next quadrant. So now we're jumping out of the high urgency. We're going to go down to low urgency, and it might be high importance or low importance. Let's go to this quadrant. Low urgency, high importance. Low urgency, high importance. What could be in that category? Exercise. Okay, I picked that one because is that important? Oh yeah. Is it urgent? Typically it's not. And there are other things in your personal development too, like taking a course in positivity, for example. Reading a book that you've been telling yourself you wanted to read. Engaging in some kind of a coaching program. Taking care of your finances. You know, sometimes that's more urgent depending on what your deadlines are. But typically these things are in the high importance, low urgency category. So what are we going to do about these things? We have to make time for these because they don't demand our time. And you're already spending time. In fact, let's go to the last quadrant because this is going to open up some time for you. What about all that stuff that's low urgency and low importance? So it's not urgent and it doesn't matter. These are the time wasters. Things like mindless leisure, for example. Now, I'm going to make a distinction here between mindless leisure and wholesome recreation. Wholesome recreation is over here. It's low urgency, but high importance. Mindless leisure, you know what I'm talking about, where you just turn off your brain and you disengage. Some people do this with video games. Some people do it with social media. Some people do it with television, or just something, you know, you turn off your mind and you don't engage at all. Low urgency, low importance. Guess what? That stuff is eating up a lot of your time. What if you were to take some of the time that you're wasting in that last quadrant and apply it towards those things that are low urgency but high importance? Sounds like a pretty good solution to me. So in this quadrant, the low urgency, high importance, you're going to use some of the time that you were wasting to do it now. Just a quick note about that. And I've talked about this in other videos as well. The only time you can do anything is now. At least when you're doing it, it is now. So you want to create and schedule a now. A now shows up on your calendar or however you manage your time. How do you track your activities? I do it in my calendar. It has a start time, it has an end time, and it has a very specific task in between, hopefully something from this category. What are we going to do with this stuff? We're going to try to eliminate it entirely because we could use that time for the stuff that really is important. Now, what are you committed to use your time more effectively doing? How about your own personal development? If you don't have a copy of my book yet, Pathological Positivity, what are you waiting for? I want to get this into your hands. Click through down below. You'll see drpauljenkins.com is the website. When you click through to that, you're going to see a big orange button. Click on that to get your free copy of this book. You pay for the shipping, I'll pay for the book.
And I wished I had a number.